Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to The Real with the Smiths. I am Nadine and this is husband.
How y'all doing, Jason?
And we just want to say thank you so much for being faithful. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for supporting us. Well, we have a special guest and sister friend with us today. And today's topic is
being a single female in the church. And we are going to have none other than our friend.
Yes.
Marlene is going to share some of her thoughts on the matter. She has not been given any of these questions in advance. She's not responding for every single female ever out there. These are just her thoughts as someone that represents this demographic.
Yes.
So with that said, and no further, we're going to hand over to our friend Marlene.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. It is a pleasure to be on The Real with the Smiths. And as Jason did mention, my name is Marlene. I come all the way from Jamaica, grew up in Brooklyn, and then I currently reside in Philadelphia. So my profession is in accounting billing. I work for higher education, and I have been in that field for a little over 7 years now. So my singleness is very much present, but has been very fortunate to experience great opportunities.
Wow, I like that. Great opportunities over here. And still. We love that. Yes. Thank you, Marlene. We are excited to have you on The Real. Yes, like I said, sister friend.
Right.
So my first question to you is, Marlene, and again, I have my phone because, do you think society and the church put a lot of pressure on single female to get married?
Ooh, very good question.
Thank you.
So society and church. So yes, I've navigated the space of both, still am. And I would definitely say it does. When you are in the church and even outside, you do see what is online. That is always Instagram worthy.
Yes.
You see hashtag relationship goals.
Yes.
And you see also in the church, your pastor, your fellow leaders,
Yes.
and fellow friends who are successfully in relationships and marriage. And you desire that as well. You do want to experience, true unity, belonging, being wanted, being accepted, and naturally just being loved.
Yes.
So it does definitely add a defiant pressure on any single person that is really wanting to attain that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will ask you a kind of follow-up question to that question before I ask my actual question. And we have all grown up in Caribbean churches at some time or place. Do you feel that Caribbean churches or West Indian churches place any more pressure to get married than, let's say, Church of God in Christ?
Very good question. Again, I will definitely say yes, it does. Coming from the background of Jamaica, I would say family, they have this expectation of what success looks like. Success is following the good book, being a good servant, having a good heart, doing what you're told, and also education, navigating that space of completing your education and going all the way if you can. And then there comes career, making sure you get that lawyer, doctor, job, and whatever it is in accounting world. Or whatever your main profession is just to be successful. And then, of course, then you can navigate the space of relationship. And for some, especially myself, I've done the latter. Now I'm at navigating that space of relationship and what that can look like. So I would say it does add pressure because although we have attained great success with all of what we have been through, now I'm at the space of, okay, now I'm looking for a life partner or I'm praying for a life partner. Why not me? Why not now? And it's not necessarily happening in the time in which we would want for it to happen because we've seen succession and gradual growth. You know, and everything's pretty much building up on each other into the next. So now I'm trying to transition, but it's not with me actually transitioning, it's upon God to transition me. So that fold, it's not happening in the time and in the space that I would want it. And because the pressure of family and the Caribbean is like, well, you have all of this and you're such a good young lady and I want to see you married and where's the husband and oh, we're praying for you. And we do appreciate all of those encouraging, you know, words, but at times it does add a lot of pressure and it makes it feel as if you're not fully complete and that you haven't attained true succession.
Yeah, that is that's really deep, and that is true because I have experienced the same thing before I got married, and it's like, okay, I finished school, now I have a degree, what next? And when you see, like you said, a lot of people, your pastor, your friends, you know, that's already married, you're like, what about me? What about me? And you do feel kind of, I mean, I know for me personally, and if you guys can identify with this, I felt at some point like not good enough, or basically when it's my turn, and I actually went through a season of I would say depression, you know, because I'm like, okay, everyone around me is you know, is getting married, and I know I have spoken to a lot of you guys that's listening on and watching us and feel the same way. And it's something that I'm not sure, because we are speaking on the behalf of the culture, the Jamaican culture, so we're not sure if other people from different churches or different culture have experienced this, but it make you feel less than. And I would say now that I'm married, it's like they're asking, where is the children? You know, like when are you gonna have babies? And you know, we have to be comfortable in our season and where God have placed us, and be comfortable in that. Yes, we desire this, but we should block out, although like you said, their intention is good, but it's just too much pressure, and it will make you feel less than, and for some of us go through depression. So I definitely can identify with that, sis, and I'm just going to tell you, this is your season. When God is ready, when God is ready,
I'm taking in all the lessons.
Yes, it will be your time.
Yeah, I agree. I think I did watch something online a while back, and it was a really good segment with this comedian who was talking about how it's always something next, you know. When are you going to grow up? Then when are you going to get your license? Then when are you going to go to college? Then when are you going to get your career? When are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? When are you going to retire? You know, it's just always something. So be encouraged. There will be another push after that for something else, and then after that.
Right.
So the question I want to ask, and this is actually my question this time, is obviously as long as I've known you, Marlene, you have been in the church.
Yes.
And I have been in the church as long as I've known you. So I don't know what, if any, experience you have outside of the church.
Okay.
I'm not really asking that. I know that you can pull from, you know, speaking to friends or any understanding you have, even from what you watch. To answer this question, my question is this. What do you think makes dating in the church more difficult than, say, dating in the world or dating for people who do not confess Christ as their Savior?
I like that.
Ooh, very good question. Again, I would say for sure social media. It definitely has a handle and a pull on what the views and what pretty much the perception of true happiness should look like or measure to. We see celebrities, we see musicians, we see models, we see what's out there, and we try to compare ourselves and try to measure up to hold on to that societal standard. And we forget and we lose our values of what God has already decreed and declared over us. And for me being a single female, I'm always told, stay encouraged, do good, stay, walk that right path. And we do all of that, but then we see other people who are not necessarily living in those realm or in those, set values. And then
speak on it.
We see them attaining relationship, or at least what we assume is real success relationship. And we want that and we desire that. And because of us not necessarily getting that, we try to fold into what then that standard should be to try to inquire on our own. So yes, it definitely does add weight. And speaking from the Caribbean background as well, love my aunties, love my uncles, love the godparents, and of course the parents too at times.
Absolutely.
But because of how they've navigated relationship, for them growing up, they naturally want the same for us, of course. But, there comes a time when sometimes a little bit encouragement is just a little too far encouragement. And, it's not always welcoming in certain tones or certain, language that is sometimes used
Speak on it,
to us, and just saying, when are you going to get married, or for you all, when are you going to have the baby? I see the love there, but then sometimes because of how it's being presented, it can really add like a negative connotation and views on maybe I am not really where I need to be, maybe I need to do something different, maybe I'm not as successful as I thought, or me being on the right path, which I was raised to be. So it does add that, pressure indeed from both views.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is, that's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. And it's a lot that we have to endure. And, just came to my thought, I wonder what the male point of view would be on this. And with that being said, we definitely have to get the male perspective in the next video on this, because this is coming from us as a female, and this is the pressure that we have endured and experienced, and I want to know if the male get the same pushback.
And I don't want to be biased, but I would love to hear on that as well. But of course, us being females, and again from the Caribbean background, the unspoken but yet realistic expectation of us is to be a wife, to be a mom, to cook, to clean, to maintain, to support.
Exactly.
And it's a lot more for us to endure growing up because we're already raised in that way of cleaning the house on the Saturday morning, helping with the groceries, helping with the meal prep, and helping with taking care of little ones if you have little siblings or younger. And so we are expected to receive that at the end as we mature and as we, gain, real life experience, so that when we get older, we know exactly what to walk into. We embrace that. Right. And because there's nothing there to embrace, it's like...
exactly. Am I doing this wrong?
Exactly,
why not me? And that's what leads to us feeling the way like, okay, you're born to do this, when that's not truly so. So my next question to you is, what would you like to see different in the church for single female? What would you like to see happen different in the church for single females?
Well, I would definitely say building more of a community base of singlehood for whether female or male, just allowing and just reassuring us of our values as to who we are, what we're called to be as, men and women in God. And don't allow it to just end there, allow for there to be opportunities, which I have grasped myself in, traveling and really building friendship base that pretty much imparts the same values too outside of relationships. What can that really look like? If I enjoy traveling, hey, do you want to travel here? Plan a trip, plan dinner dates, plan brunching, plan just little outings, adventures, sees the outdoors, and doing things naturally is what I've really became more accustomed to doing, and really learning like different strengths about myself. Going to the gym, you know, doing those little things really help to learn more about myself, and just building a community base of individuals that kind of want to do the same or navigate that space of singleness, and not making it seem so dreary as many may feel that singleness kind of look like a male pair, but really in the natural, it's a beautiful thing. Just being able to pick up and go, not always having to check in with someone, and just being able to make certain moves and to really just do things and just really see the world of its beauty. That's really what I wish and do pray more that we could build, not only for ourselves or one-on-one with any persons, but more so in the church community in itself, and making it really feel safe to really have certain conversations, and not necessarily being judged, and not necessarily looking, you know, side-eye on certain things, on certain topics, you know, just making it welcome.
That is really good. So you're overall thinking like a single ministry kind of thing. Single ministry with different age group, because we're all at, you know, different age group is at different level, right? That would be good. Thank you. Wow, that was good. That was good.
So I'm going to flip that coin a little bit. She looked at the positive. I'm going to look, maybe not, I don't want to call it negative. But what do you think is the most challenging thing for Christian women or women in the church in approaching dating within the church? What do you think is the biggest challenge that you face approaching church?
That's good.
That is really good. I will definitely say, in speaking for myself, and I would also say for both male and female, is friend zoning people. A lot of the times I have friends or obtained relationships that are of the opposite sex, and I mean, I'm very well put together, but I can be a little tomboyish when ready, and I do like to pick up and go and do certain things. I'm into cars, I'm into certain movies, I'm into, you know, learning different things. I'm very analytical in my way of thinking. So I connect more with some males than I do with females. And for me, it's always been friend zoning that person. And it's not intentionally. It's more so that it just kind of happened. But then even when there is a sparked interest, you're kind of like, ooh, you know, he is my friend, and I don't necessarily want to, you know, go over that border. How can I go over that border? Is that even a welcomed conversation? And if I even say anything, how would that now taint the relationship that we've kind of built? So I would say definitely that. And then one other thing is not really being intentional on what you want. So maybe kind of back up a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
explain a little.
So let me make that a little bit more clear. So, unspoken expectations. So you see someone, you know, guy meets girl, girl meets guy kind of likes girl's kind of like, oh, I don't really know, but guy doesn't really initially start the conversation with, hey, I actually like you, or I have interest in you. Is there a way that we could probably hang out or go out just so I can get to know you better? I just feel like leading with the initial meet and greet or conversation, that would be great. And I feel like a lot of the times in meeting people, we don't always state our true intentions.
Very good.
Yes.
Wow.
Very good.
Very good.
So, to this point, we've been doing all of the question asking, the firing squad. And obviously single people, like you said, they meet, they like-minded people get together, they do various things. One of the things that I believe single people do, because I was single at one point too, is they talk. So being that single people talk, you know, you hang out with single people, I know that you have married friends as well.
Yes.
What advice or what anything would you give the people out there, based on conversations you've had with other single people, that might be common denominators that you do want to kind of throw out there and let our viewers know, if any?
I would say definitely learn yourself. Although you're single, a lot of people have come to understood is that they don't feel comfortable in their own skin dating themselves. I had to learn to appreciate my own time alone.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't necessarily know what that is, and they may feel somewhat awkward. Well, I'm not going to go out to dinner and just eat by myself. I'm not going to go to the movies and go to the movies by myself. I looked at it the same way. Trust me, I did. It was a forced situation that kind of allowed for me to do that. And then in myself kind of acquiring that and being exposed to that, I was like, oh, it's not so bad. And I started doing that. And then the more I did it, is the more I felt so comfortable in my own skin. And I really learned certain things about myself. Like, I really don't like that, and I really prefer this. And I would say for anyone, naturally, whether married or even dating or even just, single, learn yourself. Know your triggers. Be self-aware. Know what makes you smile. Know what makes you dull. Know what really, is like a upbeat, to your day, or up-tempo to your, how you want to navigate. So yes, learn yourself.
Great answer.
That's definitely a great answer. And it's so funny because I believe we said something similar in one of our videos.
Yeah, we sure did.
We did, right?
Sure did.
Similar that it is definitely important to get to know who you are, and it is great dating yourself. A lot of time we hear dating ourselves, we shy away from it, and we don't want to go out and you look at a single person at dinner or by themselves and you talk about them. But I'm going to tell you that is the best way of getting to know who you are. Take yourself on the stuff that you truly would enjoy. So when you know how to treat yourself, you will expect that from other people. All right. So thank you so much, Marlene, sister friend. It was really, really great having you here today on The Real with the Smiths. And we want to say to our new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you for joining the family. And don't forget to
like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.